You're tuned to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. It's the program called The Wonderful World of Wardini Books, and it's our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you going, Lou?
Very well, Ken. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm a box of birds, and I'm looking forward to the weekend this time, right, actually. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Although those are my work days, but I still look forward to it.
Yeah, and you've been flat out like a lizard drinking, I guess?
A little bit this week.
Good on you. For more great books, but before we get to that, Wardini Books, 2 stores. Where are you?
16 Tomato Road in Havelock North and 44 Hastings Street in Napier.
Facebook and a webpage as well, so no reason not to keep up to date with you guys.
Yeah, we're pretty easy to get hold of, I think.
I'm the biggest.
Are you now? Well, I think Simon might disagree. So this is a series of books involving Simon Rabbit, and I rate him very highly because he's so appealing to children. As you can see, it's a picture book for children, for little ones, because he is at once naughty and mischievous and quite sly. He's got it all going on in his brain. He's a clever little rabbit, but he's also funny and loyal, and he's a member of the Little Rabbit family. So in this one, Simon's got a baby brother called Casper, and it appears when they do the height charts that Casper is growing more rapidly than Simon, and Simon is absolutely furious about this, and he says, well, I'm still the biggest, and and he gets quite cross about it, and in his head he takes it out on Casper, who's a stupid baby and all that kind of thing. His loyalty is then tested because they're out on the park and his mum says, Simon, will you keep an eye on Casper, please? And he goes, of course, mummy dearest. I don't care about Casper, and all that going on. And he notices that Casper is actually being bullied by a bigger boy. And he initially thinks it serves him right. But then he starts to get this terrible funny feeling in his stomach that he can't quite identify. And then this rage erupts and he goes storming over and saves Casper, who is just like, oh my gosh, you're so strong. And he's just absolutely thrilled that his big brother has come to save him. But then there's this awesome little punchline at the end where Simon's like, yes, I'm the big brother and that's why I saved you, Casper. And then Casper very quietly goes, I'm still the biggest. So,
got the last word.
It's an absolute cracker. And it's the same little rabbit that appears in Pooh Bum, where he will only say Pooh Bum because he's being very naughty that day. Yeah. And also I Don't Want to Go to School, where he's just starting school and he doesn't want to go. And of course the punchline to that one is that he doesn't want to go home at the end of the day when he's been to school. And there's one about eating and not eating stuff, and there's one about you can't get it anymore, and I think it was because it was called Stupid Baby. Yeah. And that's when Casper is first born, and obviously Simon is very upset by that. But in the end, he loves his brother. But I think people objected to it because it had the word stupid in it.
It's the sort of book you can read over and over again. And kids like to hear books over and over again, don't they?
Honestly, if you wave that in front of any primary school child, they'll go, oh my God, Simon Rabbit, I want to hear it now. They love him. Yeah.
Now, The Songs of Us, that's our next book we're going to look at.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
It's a beautiful book. It's a novel. And I picked it up thinking, this looks like a nice light read. That'll be quite, something, take your mind off things and all that kind of thing. And it turned out to have a lot more depth to it than I thought. So the author of this is Emma Cooper. And it's about a woman called Melody. And her name is slightly ironic because when she gets really stressed, she sings out loud in parents' evenings or in doctors' surgeries or wherever she is. If she gets a little bit stressed, an inappropriate song will come into her head and she will just sing it. And she even does the actions and the dance moves and all that kind of thing. So that's due to, she thinks, due to a fall that she had. But the backdrop to their family is quite serious because when the children were little, her children are Flynn and Rose, they were in the car with their father, Dev, and there was an accident and Flynn was quite badly injured and he's lost an eye and he's quite scarred on one side of his face. They're teenagers now. But one morning they woke up and Dev was gone. And that was either to do with the trauma from the accident. They don't know why. And they searched and searched and searched and they couldn't find him. So Melody believes him to be dead. But then a lead comes up and it all cracks off again. So it's a family that's hugely complicated. And there is an absolutely hugely massive twist, probably about 3/4 of the way through. And it is a book that really sends you on quite the emotional roller coaster.
Oh, right. So it's almost like Tourette's and singing.
That's what they've linked it to. And they're like, it's a really weird form of Tourette's. And we've never seen this in anybody before. But so the moments when that happens are crushingly embarrassing and really quite funny. It's a book that will make you laugh and it will make you cry. And
are you a singer? Do you go around singing out loud? I can sing. What about whistling? Are you a whistler?
Oh, I am a massive whistler.
Good on you. Yeah. Whistling's a dying art,
Is it?
Well, it used to be in the old days. Everyone went around whistling, but when I whistle at the odd time, my wife always told me, stop doing that.
Oh no, I
one
whistle
does
all the
it anymore.
time. Yeah, in the shop I whistle quite a bit because we've got the old light classical music going, and I'm forever tweeting away.
You're listening to Camera House. Oh, Camera House. I used to work Camera House 40 years. Jeez.
Where did that come from?
Yeah. You're listening to The Wonderful World of Wardini Books on Radio Kidnappers, and we have Lou in the studio reviewing 4 books. I'm the Biggest, The Songs of Us, and Now Cross Her Heart.
This is a thriller, and again, it's one that surprised me. It starts off and you think, oh, okay, I know what's happening in this book. Lisa is a mother that's had to change her identity. She's had to take the child away from the abusive father, and they've got undercover and all this kind of thing. And it's very tense because things start to happen. Oh, sorry, this one's by Sarah Pimborough. I always forget to tell you who the author is. So strange things start to happen, and the little girl is now a teenager. Her name is Ava, and weird stuff starts to occur, and she thinks she's got a sort of, the prickly neck feeling that someone's watching you and following you, and then something gets broken in the house and there's nothing to account for how that happened. And then the daughter is also communicating with somebody online, and that's all a bit shady, and the mum's Lisa is very clingy, and so counterproductively pushing Ava away. And then massive twist, and it's not all what you thought it was.
Not at
so
all.
a really good, solid thriller, really, with creepy stuff occurring.
Do you like books like that when you think, oh, it wasn't going to be what I thought it was at all?
I love it. I absolutely love that, because who wants to read a book that's completely predictable and you get to the end and you think, I could have written that myself.
And the last book we're going to talk about today is Passages.
This is really exciting because this is a memoir from Linda Trubridge, who is the wife of David Trubridge, our local sculptor and furniture maker, and mother of William and Sam. And William is the world's greatest freediver.
Yes, he is indeed.
So they're in a massively accomplished family, and Linda is a wonderful artist herself and now has proven herself as an author. So this is the story of their journey. They lived in Northumberland as a very young family, and this tells of how David and Linda met, which is a really lovely story in itself. But what Linda's concentrating on here is how they gave everything up, their quite slightly bohemian life in Northumberland, and just became sea gypsies, really. So they sold everything and they bought this boat called Hornpipe, and they set sail with their 2 very small children. I think they had to sort of tie them on at times. So Linda actually attributes their huge successes in life and the out-of-the-box thinking that went on this journey to the successes of her children. Because Sam's in films, I think, and an artistic person himself, and then William, as we know, is the world's champion freediver. So it's a really interesting memoir of their life at sea, really.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's funny how talent runs on families, isn't it? I mean, if mum and dad are talented, it's highly likely. I'm not quite sure what happened to me, but what about you? You talented? You can sing, you can dance, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can write. You're amazing. Did you have amazing parents like that?
My parents are wonderful, and I think my dad had music in him. We didn't quite find out until a lot later. It's funny what comes out when people are older.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's where you get your talent from, your mum and your dad.
Absolutely.
Good on you. As always, our pleasure to talk with you. Just remind our listeners, we want to come and get one of these great books. Oh, you've got a gig coming up about Passages.
It is about Passages. So on Friday the 13th of July at Wardini Books in Napier, Linda is going to officially launch Passages there. So that's at 5:00. I think there's something going on in town as well. It's like a winter fair thing.
Yes.
So it's going to be quite buzzing in Napier that day. So everyone's welcome. Come and meet Linda.
As always, our pleasure, Lou. Look after yourself. Talk to you same time, same place next time.
Cool. Thanks, Ken.